we have this video right here by Kago. I think it's Kago. I still don't know how to pronounce it really, man. I say Kago, but I also say Kago. It just depends. So, best TBC pre-patch exploits right now. I mean, here's the thing, anytime you put the word exploits in caps lock, I am interested instantly, okay? Let's see.
Good morning, evening, or afternoon, everybody. Today, I wanted to take a little deep dive into all these sort of exploitative things that you can do in TBC and Classic WoW. So with the pre-patch being 1 week away from today, there are quite a lot of weird, super niche...
Wait, I forgot that he's also in the bottom left corner all the time, so I'm doing this. There we go.
Things because of all the item changes, because of all the TBC changes, because of all the class stuff, and just sort of how items work and mounts, for one, as we have talked a lot about those on the channel. All of these changes can be actually exploited in very unique ways to give you a little bit of an advantage. Obviously, none of these are like game-breaking, print infinite money glitches, nothing like that, but just purely cosmetic. Some gearing changes do actually work this way, and I only really know one piece, but we'll talk about that in a moment. So the very first thing I want to cover is those gearing changes. So if you, so there are a lot of things that change, and the very first piece we want to talk about, because if you're playing a shaman,
yeah, there's a lot of pieces, by the way, that goes from being white items right now in Classic to being blue or green in TBC, and this starts in the pre-patch. Like, for example, the rugged shoulders that he's showing off here, they become blue, and I think they give agility. I mean, he's probably going to show that soon. But you also have the worn shield from, Wailing Caverns. Is it Crash or something? Like, you know, the shield from the turtle that is like the white one that you can trade. That one also becomes either green or blue, I think, in the pre-patch. And, yeah, you have many others. Even the club as well, the Raxor club from Deadmines, also becomes green or blue. And it gets better stats on it.
This might come in handy for you, especially if you're an Alliance player. But stuff like this, like rugged split shoulders right here from SFK off the first boss, these are a white piece of gear, meaning you can grab these shoulders and you can trade them infinitely. They do not bind on you. They do not do anything. There's nothing sort of new or crazy about them. However, if you were to, like, you could just go to the auction house and buy these right now. However, in TBC, for instance, these shoulders become blue. So the little exploit here, and I'm sure that the rugged shoulders are going to be very, very expensive. We'll look real quick. Yeah, so 60 silver. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to buy one of these for 60 silver. And then what I'm going to show you is the exploit. So what you do is you acquire one of these shoulders, and...
Is he going to show the one where you wrap it up in wrapping paper so you have like a gift and then you open it in the pre-patch?
And then you are going to take these shoulders and you wrap them...
Yeah, he is. Okay.
...in red ribbon wrapping paper. So now you have a red ribbon gift. So this gift right here, this is still bind on, or it still has no bound. Like, it is not bind on equip, it is not bind on pickup. You can give this gift to anyone. So because this gift does not change, and this gift has an item inside of it that gets changed, the item does not... the item, normally you can't wrap bound gifts, but since the gift is not, or the item is not boundable yet, you can still wrap it. So when we look over here to TBC, I'm going to show you what the rugged shoulders turn into. So in TBC, these rugged shoulders...
8 agility on them, by the way, and they're level 15. Those are really good shoulders to have. Really good shoulders to have.
Turn into bind on pickup 8 agi rugged shoulders.
Yeah.
So if you are leveling a rogue, if you're leveling a druid, if you're leveling anyone, that you would get to...
Why did you say that? If you're leveling a shaman, is what you should say. If you're leveling a shaman, enhancement shaman, those are insane. Or hunter, I guess, also, because some people level Draenei hunters for the melee hit percentage.
Level 15 in the pre-patch that you want 8 agi shoulders, which is really, really good for level 15. you can go ahead and do this method. You get those shoulders, wrap them, and get it. If you're wondering where to get wrapping paper, you can come right here, and at the general goods store, you can buy red ribbon wrapping paper or blue ribbon wrapping paper for 45 copper. This works for every item in the game that is not bind on pickup. So you do it with BOEs that become BOP. The rugged shoulders is the most popular example, and this did work in 2021, and I would love to test it on the PTR, but unfortunately you can't copy character data, so my characters are, like, the druid is still like level 1 because I had just created it when the TBC Prepatch went live. So there's no, I can't test it personally, but if you're able to test it on the PTR and you want to contribute, please do that and let me know. Now the next thing I'm going to cover is pretty awesome, so I'm going to head over and show you that then. Whoop. Alrighty guys, so the next one that you can do this with is going to be mounts. Now, what you can do with mounts is, this isn't anything to do with the riding scenario, but essentially because riding changes to just being, like, you buy riding and then you have to be exalted to buy mounts, which is a complete inverse of classic and the classic system. But anyway, short story short, in TBC, you essentially buy just riding, and then if you're exalted, you can buy any of these mounts. So if I wanted a Kodo on, say, a Blood Elf, for whatever reason, or a Draenei, what you could do, because as you can see, these Kodos right here, they are bind on use, which is similar to bind on equipped. It's just, it's a mount. I actually care about my gold, so I'm not going to buy this one because, you know, I'm a poor struggling Tauren right now. But if I were to buy one of these, we could wrap this in the package and then we could send this to a Blood Elf, and the Blood Elf could open one of these mounts, and then I could have a Kodo on a Blood Elf. This applies to every single race. The only thing that does not work is, I believe, Undead can't ride Kodos, so that would be the only thing that wouldn't work. Or
Yo, dude, Undead on a Kodo would be so funny. There's no way. That would be great. Please make that a thing in the future. Damn, dude.
Taurens can't ride undead mounts, so that's the only one that does not work. And definitely look into which classes can ride which mounts, because it is 1,000 gold to do this method. But this also worked in 2021, and I have a few confirmed cases of it working. So what you would do is you would buy this Kodo, you would then wrap it in the paper. So the one that I have already, if we
are you doing the paper wrap here as well? Damn, dude. The paper wrap exploit is insane. It just works on everything, huh? Sheesh. I didn't even think about wrapping the mount into, like, wrapping paper to make it a gift. That's to just make everything into a gift. Blizzard probably should do something about that. I don't know. It sounds a little bit weird, just wrapping everything into gifts and exploiting.
we were to wrap it, it says bound items can't be wrapped because this is my mount that I have been riding in.
Yeah, one of you guys made a good point, by the way, that agility is only critical strike, and is it dodge as well, like you said? Critical strike and dodge for shamans. You typically want to have strength on a shaman, right? So, are there any other better shoulder alternatives that you get access to quite early? Because, like, they're still good shoulders, and they're level 15, but if there are any other better alternatives also available early, would be great to know about.
Using. However, this one would be bind on use, similar to these as well. So we could buy one of these, we could wrap it, and then we could send that package to our new Blood Elf, and then my Blood Elf could ride on a Kodo. This also works if you just want the reps for any of the mounts. The only requirement is you have to be able to ride it. And you could even purchase this mount, I believe, if you can access the vendors. So I think you only need to be level 40 to do it. I don't have 900 gold here to test that, but it didn't say you can't do it. It just says you don't have the money. So I don't think anything is stopping me from buying my epic mount before level 60. I just have never been in the situation where I had 1,000 gold and tried to do it personally. So that is just something to consider and be aware of if you want your mount on any race in any class. You have a week to do this, and like I said, it did work in 2021, and I wish I could test it for you, but I have no way to test it thus far. I do know that you can wrap the lesser ones. I had a rich friend test that for me as well. But anyway, the final thing I want to talk about, and this is relevant for all of you guys, is the world buffs. So world buffs do not work in TBC after the level of 63, so you can just sort of chrono boon and go into pre-patch with your world buffs up. I mean, if you want to look like a cool Giga Chad and have your Chrono Boon world buffs up the entire time, you can have that throughout all of TBC. I know people that have literally carried them all the way into Mop with that buff up. So, kind of crazy. And it's just that weird thing that it's because they're just stuck in time there. So some people kind of do that, get full world buffs on the last day of Classic, and then they just lock them in their Chrono Boons and don't really use them. But you can use these from level all the way up to 63, so some early dungeon grinding. I would highly recommend that you get those and go and crank Hellfire Peninsula and have a lot of fun in the Hellfire.
What I know some super sweat are doing, by the way, which is a valid strategy, it's just, it's really sweating. But basically, you are pre-questing to get to level 62, right? And sometimes you get into level 62 as well. So what they are doing is that they're pre-questing, getting enough experience to instantly get to level 62, and then they bang out Sangremarsh with world buffs to be able to, like, get that shit done and get to level 63 ASAP. It gives you a massive advantage because now you are a full zone ahead of anybody else. And when the launch is happening, it's all about getting ahead of the pack and being where other people are not. So being in a whole zone for yourself with like minimal competition will drastically increase your leveling speed by a lot as well. And it's honestly not a bad strategy. So just on all of your characters that you intend to level in TBC, it could be worth it for you to just get all the world buffs, boon them, and have them ready to go for when you are leveling in TBC. Whether you are pre-questing or not, or whether you're actually questing in TBC or dungeon farming, world buffs are such a huge help. The damage increase from having world buffs, man, is huge.
Fire dungeons with your world buffs up, because you might as well use them if you go and get them. But that is it for this video. So if there's anything else that's incredibly exploitative or fun or exciting that you guys think you can do and you want to drop it down below in the comments, everything I do always helps people out. So until next time, I'll see you later, guys. Hope you have a great day. Bye-bye.
Okay.
Hey, you.
That was a good video, by the way. That was a really good video on stuff to do in the pre-patch. For me, I am doing pretty much none of these, even the shoulders as well. I have bought a set of shoulders. I haven't wrapped it yet, so I guess I should be doing that if I'm doing it for the pre-patch. I just picked up like one of those shoulders really cheap on the auction house. I might honestly just resell it. I have to look at what other shoulders alternatives that I have, and if I have any strength alternatives, because once again, shamans benefit way more from strength as enhancement than they do agility. Especially early. You can use agility to get critical strike and stuff at max level or higher levels, but the strength is just straight up attack power. And sometimes as well you want to have spell power. And it just depends on like how you want to level. But yeah, like I've been buying a bunch of gear on my shaman, and well, I haven't bought it on the shaman yet, but I bought a bunch of blues ready for the shaman, so BOEs, right, that I have in the mailbox, and I've also picked up swiftness potions to be able to, like, level up faster, which could also be relevant in TBC, by the way. If you are doing dungeons and stuff, having some speed potions just to either speed up the pulls, or be able to run out if a bad pull happens, could be really helpful. Health potions, mana potions, and one more tip that I picked up today from, for my shaman leveling as well, or Draenei leveling, is explosives. There are some explosives that don't require engineering to be used. For example, the explosive rocket from the quest in Elwyn Forest. Anybody can use those, and from level 1 to level 5, that is like half of a mob's health or something, between 20% and half. So honestly, that can turn your shaman into an AoE farming machine, and now you can level up way faster than other people are doing. So combining explosives with, for example, speed potions or swiftness potions early is so good. Dynamites, there might be some dynamites as well you can pick up that don't require professions to be used. The thing is, you just want to have explosives that don't require engineering in order to use them. And then you stack those on your shaman or your blood elf, and you are so ready to go, and you're gonna blast. And you also have other items as well, not only explosives, but like various consumes that increases your damage or does the damage around you. There are even some items that gives you thorns buffs effect as well, which also you can get in Ungoro, but that is like way higher level, right? You can get you can hand in the Draenic crystals and get the thorns buff as well. But I mean, if you have 2 accounts, you probably should have a druid buffing yourself with thorns. It's something that I might actually do myself, because I'm boosting a druid in the pre-patch. So I could actually buff myself with thorns, but that sounds really cringe, so I'm probably not going to. But if you really want to min-max, I think that's one thing you could be doing, yeah. It's that, and I know some people are actually setting up the mob tag on their, like, Blood Elf and the Draenei as well. I'm not doing that, I'm just gonna level full natty. I might do some set G boosting at level 50 plus, we'll see. Because something not everybody knows about is that mage boosting might still work in the TBC pre-patch. Because as of right now, on the PTR, public test realm, mage boosting in Set G works. Set G stands for Sulgurub, and the anti-slow mechanic is not active in Sulgurub for some reason, which means that boosting Blood Elves and Draenei from 50 to 60 might still be possible with mage boosting, in Set G specifically.